Today's Advent Calendar crossover is all about the candy canes. Earlier on PTL, we showed you the making of a candy cane ornament. It was really cool to see the glass blowing. Now we're bringing on the sweets. I'm joined by Renee, the owner of Confections by Renee. So glad to have you here.
Thank you.
And you are making one of my favorite treats of all. You are making a brownie, but with a peppermint spin.
Yes, so with the holidays, peppermint mocha's really big, and we do these in the bakery every year for our cookie assortment, so we're gonna make some candy cane brownies.
That's wonderful. Okay,
right.
So what do you have already in the bowl here?
Okay, so in the bowl I have sugar, cocoa powder, and salt. So we're just gonna mix that up first.
Get that all distributed evenly.
Yeah, and then in the microwave I have dark chocolate, milk chocolate, and butter melted. You can use either dark or milk, but I love dark chocolate, and I know not everybody loves it as much as me, so I always do a
nice
mix.
Way, yeah, to like break it up a little bit. I find dark chocolate can be a little bitter, so if you add in that milk, it really helps.
Yeah, it kind of mellows it out, but then you still get like the bitterness of the dark chocolate.
Can I ask what you use? Did you use melting wafers or did you use actual like chocolate chips? Or?
I do chocolate chips. Okay. Now, I'm a big chocolate fiend, so I always order like these French chocolates that we use in the bakery.
Well, look at us, so fancy
I
over
know.
here today.
That's the difference you're gonna get. But honestly, you could do any chocolate, anything you get in the grocery store. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So we've got it nice and smooth. It's got all the chocolates melted, the butter's melted.
And how much butter did you add to that?
I have about 1 stick and plus a quarter stick, so about 10 tablespoons of butter, and it's about a cup of chocolate.
It's the holiday season.
Butter in everything. Yes, we don't skimp.
We don't.
Okay, so we're gonna add this to here.
And we're gonna blend this again.
Yep,
too.
you can go ahead and give that a whisk.
When,
Make sure it's
when
all
did
nice
you
and
fall in love with baking?
Well, I've always had a sweet tooth.
Yeah.
My mom made like the best cookie platter, still does, and I would always help her and pretty much eat most of the product that was made. And then I kind of went in a whole different direction with my career, but I came back to baking. It always was coming back to baking, and I love it. I don't regret changing things for a minute.
Well, I know that we're not going to regret it because I've already seen the brownies, what they look like. I'm glad you're doing what you're doing.
Well, if you want to help me, you can keep whisking, and I'm going to add the eggs one at a time.
So you have 4 eggs here, whole eggs.
4 eggs, yep. And if you give them, it's good to do it one at a time just to give them a chance to
break
catch
up
to each other. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite or most requested item at your
My
bakery?
chocolate cake is the most requested thing. Yeah, that's my biggest seller. Yeah,
Really?
I always have a special called a chocolate tuxedo that's on the menu. It's chocolate cake, buttermilk frosting, and chocolate drip glaze. And I just always keep it on. We can do it vegan, gluten-free. That is my most sold item.
Well, this
All right, and then we have, as you can smell, the peppermint.
Yeah.
We have half a teaspoon of peppermint extract and half a teaspoon of vanilla extract.
Do you measure your vanilla? You're a real baker. I always just dump it in. I'm like, that looks good.
We measure everything. We have a whole cup, a tablespoon, teaspoon. Yeah, I'm pretty. Everything's in grams too. We don't even use cups.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah,
it makes sense.
It keeps it more consistent. So yeah, we're gonna do, lastly, this is flour and baking powder. And
I have a confession.
Yeah, go for it.
Everything calls for sifting your flour, and I don't have a flour sifter. Is it really that important?
You know, it's not life or death, but I would definitely, like, in things like this, you're gonna get clumps. Like, see even now how there's those clumps in there?
Yeah.
You're probably gonna get like some clumps of flour, and I make everybody sift the baking soda because there was one time I bit into a little bit of baking soda in a cake, and it was the worst taste I've ever had.
Oh, yeah.
And I just never want anybody to experience that.
So you even sift the baking soda.
And if it's starting to get too thick, you could go ahead and use this. If that's easier.
So once you mix this up, and that's it. That's all of your ingredients.
That's everything. You can do it by hand, or if you're fancy, you can use a mixer.
And so we have our, you have parchment paper down, and that's also greased.
Yep, I always spray, put the parchment paper on, and then spray again. It keeps it from sliding around.
Yeah.
That's my pro tip for you.
That's great.
And then we just Put this guy in here.
I love how organized you are too. So you also brought in, so these are crushed up candy canes.
Yep, crushed up candy canes.
And do you bake with these on?
Yep, you'll bake with them on, and I'll show you what they'll look like when they come out of the oven.
So once we smooth this out, and you brought a little spatula
Yeah,
here.
give it make sure it's nice and even because you don't want crispy. I mean, some people like crispy.
The
but
edges, yeah.
I mean, I don't mind an end piece, but you know, we try to keep them as even as possible.
Oh, here, you're probably better at that
No,
than
it's
me.
all good. I do this all day, every day.
So you have the candy canes, but tell me what you have here.
So I have just some dark chocolate that's chopped up. I really like sprinkling this on top because it gives it a little crunch and texture. And these are more of a cakey brownie, so they can sit out at room temperature. And it's nice to have that texture on there. So we
we're
won't
just gonna-
go crazy, but yeah,
We're
go
just gonna
ahead and
sprinkle these
sprinkle.
on. How nice.
Yeah, and just give a nice, you figure you want some in every bite.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, we're gonna do the same thing with the candy cane.
And tell me where you're located too.
So our bakery is located in Wilkinsburg. It's all custom. So you can't just walk in and buy a bunch of cookies. You have to order online first. So,
That's
yeah,
wonderful.
Sprinkle these on, and then this is what you're looking like. You want to make sure they cool nicely before you cut into them, but they got the crunch, they got the mint. It's not too much. It's just tastes like Christmas to me.
It does. Speaking of which, you're full for your Christmas orders, but if people order now, they can get it for December 27th-ish.
Yeah, so we are full this week for orders, but we are taking orders starting the 27th. So we have one more week you could get holiday orders, and then it's custom cakes, heart cakes, weddings, all of that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This is delicious.
I'm glad you like it.
Confections by Casey Renee is located on Wood Street in Wilkinsburg. She's open Wednesdays through Saturdays by appointment only. We're going to have all this information on our website, kdka.com/talkpittsburgh.